The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the start of the
Good morning. Minnis asks for forgiveness, says he's not perfect and ever will be, as he says he will not run for leader of the FNM at next month's convention. Shane Gibson being considered for BTC deputy chairman, according to the Nassau Guardian. And a man who had his teeth shattered by police awarded $64,000. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, October 25th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Pamela Musgrove will be joining us. Also this morning, we've got another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And in Morning Blend Business, we're going to be talking about the latest offering of registered stock, Bahamas registered stock, which you need to know whether this is for you. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, it was a teary-eyed swan song for FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis, who asked members of the FNM yesterday to forgive him for any mistakes he made, saying, quote, "I am not perfect and I never will be." Minnis at the FNM's 50th anniversary church service yesterday, saying that he will continue to serve in the House of Assembly as Member of Parliament for Killarney. And he thanked the constituents of Killarney for their support since 2007 and during the recent general election. He said, quote, "As a former prime minister and whatever role is assigned to me, I will support the work of the opposition to advocate on behalf of the Bahamian people and to hold the government accountable." As his voice cracked, Minnis continued, quote, "It has been an extraordinary privilege to serve our country as prime minister and as member of parliament. I thank the Bahamian people and the members of the Free National Movement for their support and their encouragement." He paused briefly as FNMs applauded yesterday as he asked for prayers and he thanks for their advice that many of the members of the public have given him over the years. Again, he asked for forgiveness for any mistakes he made. His address comes 2 days after he formally announced in a press release that he will not run for leader at the party's convention on November 27th. It put an end to speculation that has swirled for weeks over whether he will seek to hang on as leader after calling an election 8 months before one was constitutionally due and leading his party to a spectacular defeat at the polls on September 16th. As he wept, Minnis thanked his wife Patricia and his family for their support. He also defended his administration's record. The Nassau Guardian is reporting that Prime Minister Philip Davis is considering appointing former Cabinet Minister Shane Gibson as deputy chairman of the BTC of Bahamas Telecommunications Company. The government of Bahamas, part owner in the company, selects 3 directors of the board, including the deputy chairman, Cable and Wireless Communications, which owns a portion of the company, appoints the board's chairman. Gibson is a former BTC employee and is a former president of the BCPOU, the union representing BTC workers. He was instrumental in engaging with the government during the 1990s and during the Ingram administration's initial attempt at privatization, which was not achieved until 2011 in a sale to CWC. If Davis decides to appoint Gibson as deputy chairman, the move would be highly controversial, as was the Prime Minister's decision to appoint former Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald to be his senior policy advisor. 12 more people dying from COVID-19, according to the Ministry of Health. The deaths occurred between September 23rd and October 14th. 7 men and 5 women, all residents of New Providence, passed away, and they ranged in age from 16 to 92. The ministry says that 642 people have now died from the virus, with 60 additional deaths under investigation, a total of 128. 128 deaths are non-COVID related. The Ministry of Health also reporting 105 new COVID cases between October 21st and 23rd. Hospitalizations decreased, though, from 103 on October 21st to 92 on October 23rd. There have been 22,259 COVID cases reported in the country since the start of the pandemic. Nearly 17,000 of those cases were reported in New Providence. And a diver who was punched in the mouth by an off-duty policeman awarded $64,856 in damages plus $18,000 in costs. Pedro Morley, who had to replace 8 teeth as a result of the unjustified assault, had sought $250,000 in damages in a lawsuit against Constable Courtney Hall, the Commissioner of Police, and the Attorney General. Hall admitted to misconduct when he appeared before the police tribunal, and he had to forfeit 7 days' pay as punishment. As a result of Hall's admission, the government accepted liability and was left for Assistant Registrar Ronaldo Toot to assess damages. Hall's misconduct occurred around 2 a.m. on October 5th, 2019, when he confronted Morley as he spoke to a woman outside a club. The officer wanted to know if Morley knew the woman and whether they were talking about him. During the encounter, Hall pulled a police service revolver from his waist, pointed it at Morley, putting him in fear for his life. After assaulting Morley with a firearm, Hall identified himself as a policeman, although he was not carrying out official duties. Morley then left the club, but a marked police car pulled Morley's car over near a store on East Street later. The 2 officers in the patrol car ordered Morley and his passenger out of the vehicle. Morley, after being hit in the mouth by one of the officers, required an 8-unit bridge at the cost of $9,856 to repair his teeth. His lawyer, Bjorn Ferguson, submitted that the defendant's failure to apologize showed they had no remorse. Overseas, Sudan's leading general declaring a state of emergency today, hours after his forces arrested the acting prime minister and disrupted the internet in an apparent coup as the country was nearing a planned transition to a civilian leadership. In a televised address, the general announced that he was dissolving the country's ruling sovereign council, as well as the government led by Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok. He said quarrels among political factions prompted the military to intervene, but he pledged to complete the country's democratic transition, saying a new technocrat government would lead Sudan to elections. In response to the moves, thousands flooded the streets of the capital and its twin city to protest the apparent military takeover. Footage shared online appeared to show protesters blocking streets and setting fires to tires, and security forces used tear gas to disperse them. Protesters could be heard chanting, quote, "The people are stronger, stronger," and, quote, "retreat is not an option," as plumes of smoke filled the air. Videos on social media showed large crowds crossing bridges over the Nile to the center of the capital. At least 12 protesters were wounded in the demonstrations, according to the Sudanese Doctors Committee, although they did not give details. In sports, bombs shooting sensation Chavano Buddy Hield went into Friday night's game against the Utah Jazz with 1,070 made three-pointers, tied with Peja Sojakovic for the most made three-pointers in Sacramento Kings franchise history. With 57 seconds left in the first quarter, Hield hit another milestone when he broke the tie and became the sole leader with 1,071 trays. The Kings lost that game 110-101 at home in Sacramento, though, and they scored a 1-1 win-loss record for the season so far as of yesterday. They hosted another game last night. We'll have details from that one later. But Hield breaking that Kings franchise record for three-pointers. From the NFL, Tom Brady top 600 career touchdown passes as the Buccaneers rout the Bears 38-3. The Tennessee Titans dominating Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs 27-3. And the LA Rams edging the Detroit Lions 28-19. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a surface trough along with streaming moisture that continues to maintain unsettled weather across the islands. Boaters should exercise caution due to the threat of waterspout activity in or near showers or thunderstorms. For all areas today, forecast calls for variably cloudy and humid conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the northwest Bahamas. Showers may become heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Gusty winds and higher seas expected in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, gusty at times in the northwest Bahamas, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, but higher in gusts in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet, but higher in gusts. Temperature-wise today, we're looking at highs getting up to 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
For 38 years, Strachan Commercial Pest Services has provided trained certified technicians while using environmentally safe, industry-standard products. Pests can devastate your business. Together, we will ensure adequate sanitation standards and safe pest exclusion methods. Uncontrolled pest problems lead to significant financial loss due to food contamination, business disruption, and stock waste. Strachan provides detailed solutions protecting your business and reputation. Strachan, #1 in pest control services.
People helping people to help themselves. All right, watch this. The credit union of the Bahamas, job card ain't got nothing on them. There's the plug. People helping people to help themselves. Don't believe me? Join the credit union and watch your money grow like Chef and Needle. Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings. Yeah, go join one. Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make. More what? Stop that. Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings. Let me get my money there. Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make. Join a credit union. Watch your savings grow with higher interest rates. Become a member and purchase some shares. Then ownership is coming your way. They offer local banking members the owner. Personalized service. Come and join the credit union, and your choice will be the smartest. I girl now. Credit unions are the smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Pamela Musgrove. Good morning, Pamela.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Great to have you with us,
Good to
as
be here.
always.
Good to
Hope
be
you had a
here.
great weekend.
Yep, I did.
Wonderful stuff. We have a lot to get to this morning. A lot going on. I told you how you can join us on social media. We'll give the numbers in just a bit as well. Coming up this morning, though, in addition to talking about what's in the news, we're going to be getting into the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle drawing a little bit later in the show. And in Morning Blend Business, we're going to be looking at the latest Bahamas registered stock offering and whether this is an opportunity that you should be taking advantage of and what it all means and what you can expect from it. We'll get all the details about that this morning. And more advice on what you should and should not be doing with your money. All of that coming up in Morning Blend Business. So a lot to get to on this Monday morning. Let's begin, though, with what else is in the news. And in the news, you got to pick up today's Nassau Guardian. It is a big one today. It is huge, and that's because the jurors list for 2022 is in it. I haven't looked yet to see what's what. We'll do that during the break.
See, if you don't see it, then you don't know.
Oh, yeah? You sure that's how it works? I don't know about that.
If you don't look, you don't see it, and then you don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that has ever worked successfully for anybody. But
I heard they have to serve you.
Yeah?
They have to, but I don't know if the law changed. But I know
serve
in
you
the
for
past
a specific case.
they
though,
have
right?
they have to come to you and
Right.
serve you the papers to appear.
Right, for the specific case.
Right.
But
So I don't know if because of COVID it changed.
that's interesting. It'll be good to
But
find
I was
out how
told by
that
a
worked.
lawyer that yeah.
It'll be good to find out how that has worked. We'll get some details on that one for
Yeah.
you. But it's in today. The jury list. I'll read this a little bit for you. The jury list has been prepared by the revising panel. A hard copy of the said list can, together with the accompanying notice under Section 7 of the Juries Act, is available for inspection by any member of the public during weekdays between the hours of 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the chambers of the Honorable Mr. Justice Andrew in Supreme Court number 1. I mean, who does that? You go down all the way. Would you really do that? What?
Some people like it, you know.
To go down there and to see if they are. I mean,
No,
or you could just pick up today's.
Yeah, I know
copy.
you could,
Yeah.
but I mean, some people like to serve. Like they wouldn't
They're
mind
excited.
if they're a fixture. I served one time before, many years ago. Then I was called another time, and I told them I served already because I had heard that once you serve one time, then that should be. I had heard that.
Right. So what did they tell you when you said that to them?
They said that wasn't true, but they never served me, and so I called my lawyer, and they said they had to serve me in order for me to appear.
To be
I
impaneled.
told them many people that have never served before, and then you call me twice. No, I don't think so.
Okay, Pam. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know if it worked like that at all. But as they told you, it doesn't. But okay, that's a good one though. That's
But
creative.
no one served me anything, so that was good. One time I think is enough for me.
Well, what type of trial was that?
Well, I had a child molestation
Oh,
trial, theft trial, and I think maybe, two.
These are rough.
But see, your name is selected, and then you have to appear.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the Monday, and then to see if your name will be picked. Your number will be
Right.
picked to
Yeah.
serve.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I served on a couple of them, but nothing I want to do
Yeah.
again.
That's disturbing
Particularly
stuff.
these times now with crime being so high and the country being so small.
Yeah.
People know people. So
Some very interesting cases in this place.
yes.
Very interesting.
I prefer to read about it in the papers.
Well, again, it's in today's Nassau Guardian. You got to pick up your copy today and know for sure if you are on the list. I'll look during the break. You'll hear my mood shift. Perhaps during the break when we come back. Okay, so the big story in the Nassau Guardian today, Dr. Hubert Minnis. The headline, Minnis asks for forgiveness. The church service that he said that there'd be some interesting things said. Yep, a tearful address to the folks attending the F&M's 50th anniversary church service. Of course, we had an idea of what was going to be said because of a press statement he released on Friday with mounting pressure, including comments from former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram about the political future, Dr. Minnis' political future. The writing was essentially on the wall, and, well, this is over, it appears. It is over for Dr. Minnis. We did say it last week that we wouldn't again, unless he had something interesting to say, we wouldn't play anything from him again until he had something interesting to say. I think this counts as that. Take a listen to this report from our Giorgio Bain.
National movement celebrating 50 years at its annual church service today as they declared unity over the party as they gear up to head into their one-day convention next month.
An emotional Dr. Hubert Minnis said it was an extraordinary privilege to serve as Prime Minister, receiving a standing ovation from the congregation as he delivered some of his final remarks as leader of the Free National Movement.
We all need God's grace. Where I have made mistakes, I ask for your forgiveness. I am not perfect, and I never will be.
Menace asserting that he will remain loyal to the Free National Movement and will serve in any capacity that the party sees fit.
I will continue to serve in the House of Assembly as the Member of Parliament for Kalani. As a former Prime Minister, and whatever role is assigned to me, I will support the work of the opposition. To advocate on behalf of the Bahamian people and to hold the government accountable.
Bishop Hewlin Hanna not holding back during his message to the party to let go of arrogance and to embrace humility.
We are so giddy with the desire to occupy offices that we forget that we ourselves should be subject to a higher authority. Hence the arrogance that accompanies so many who aspire to the halls of Parliament. If nothing else drives you on your face to humility, this should.
Hanna telling the party that its work is not done and it's now time to forge together in unity.
Your work in general is yet to be fully completed. Therefore, pick yourself up and go forward and do the people's business as an official, united opposition.
Okay, our Giorgio Bain with that report there. Asking for forgiveness.
It's a good thing to ask for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing to ask for forgiveness.
Wow.
And I think it is. This is what it is. And I think that message by Pastor Hewlin Hanna was like the young people say, off the chain and on point. And I think all politicians should heed that call. And I think it's time for the opposition to move forward. Because the country needs we need a strong government. And we also need a strong opposition to hold the government accountable, to ensure that the government is doing the business of the people.
Yeah.
So I think it can only be good for the country in the long run.
Let's hear what you have to say about it, folks. I'm sure you have a lot of feedback to all of this since the announcement on Friday. And let's get your views on the end of this Menace era and what this means for the party going forward. What's next? Who's next?
Well, they're going to decide that on November 27th.
And will they pick the right person? Are there other people in there who are not being mentioned right now that you'd like to see mentioned as potential leaders for the party?
I'm always curious. How do you determine the right persons the way that we choose leaders in this country? It just appears to be popularity or who may be older, maturer, or, who the delegates feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I was going to say even weirder criteria, right?
Yeah.
They're something so obscure because they made us lunch that time or took us. They always bring us a nice cake at Christmas, right? Well,
so I think that needs reform. I want to commend the F&M, though, in changing their rules. I think that was perfect, not just for this occasion.
Which rule are you talking about?
And that rule, they announced it I read it in the Guardian, I think on the 19th of October, where they said they will not allow nominations from the floor on the convention day. That is perfect. That is moving.
Why do you think that's good? Why do you think that's good?
Because I think if you want to run, you should let persons know in advance, and you should get some support from persons in your political organization so that people can know, okay, these are the people that are running for leadership. And I think they need to take it a step further in allowing these people to address the delegates. Because how do you know if someone is a leader unless you, like, talk to me.
Yeah.
What is your vision? What do you want to do? Right? But this thing, I think, of going behind the scenes in private and, okay, I want your vote. Why? I think they should bring that out in the light, like what they did with the convention floor rule. And then people, their delegates can see. And then the country can see as well. And that could give support for the person.
A great idea. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We have no idea what the format is going to be like so far at this point, but I hope they're listening to that.
Yeah,
that will be very helpful.
I think for the organization and for the country, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question. I'll ask that after we take these calls. The phone lines are all lit up. Let's go to the phone lines. And remember, you can call in 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259 when they're free. Get in and tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Pam.
Good morning.
Morning, my blessed Bahamas. Dwight, it's a new day. Right, and let me tell you this, Dwight. I keep telling you guys, nothing is going to change this country until 2027. That's when I may decide to put my hand in the ring. Because I play with the Bahamians and I play with the Bahamas for Bahamians. You see, all of our former politicians, commission, police, etc., they swear that they should queen our heirs and etc. That's what's wrong. That's why they treat us the way they treat us. I can't go by the Michigan police and get me a light and iron gun. Definitely be my business and definitely be my family. I can't go and sit on gamble. I can't do many things they can't do in this.
But JJ, do you think it's because of the Queen that you can't do those things?
My thing is, like I keep telling you, see the Moscow, you know what happened in Moscow, right? They were punished. God punished them. And I just say what they last time around now. 3 score 10 plus 1. Now, let me say, at least 2 prime ministers, 2 former prime ministers apologized to us. They made the palm. The first one was a little goodness. Because I had plenty of questions to ask him when I was younger. He apologized. They don't blame me because he made some mistakes. I talk him this. He was supported. My good friend, the former prime minister, he apologized. I don't miss it take a real man and woman to apologize to the people.
Let me ask you this. I've been told to ask you, somebody saw me out and said to ask you the next time you call in and say this, what's going to happen in 2027? I mean, you said
what's going to happen in 2027 are no real people will take the country. See, as a matter of fact, I'm going to hang in there for the next 2.5 years. I can drink a Barnum McCarthy and go and I'm joining the DNA. We need to change this country. It's the same thing happening all they cater to the rich people and mashing up me and my children, my grandchildren, man. So much red tape. Call police on the street. The people treating us like dog. They talk us that kind of how. That's why the Canadians and the Chinese actually talk us when they talk us. That's what's happening in this country. They want real strong leaders in this country. They talk bad, but bad people, they get out of this country right away. You speak right, and this is the kind of mindset we need a national youth stay with this country. Every day, try to be using young men. The crime to drugs and young ladies. You don't want a country like that. Right now, I feel in the city every day. Just right there. I see a bunch of young kids on the street. They ain't going to school. What's right? 10, 15 years, no happen. Grades win again. Beat them again. We need to fix this country. The bank strip, buy services. You only can take us $50, $100. That ain't right. Let's take my going about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Wow. All right. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend. Are you there? Good morning. Hi. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead. 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hello. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good morning to you, co-host.
Good morning.
Hey, Dwight, I'd like to correct JJ, man. When the former prime minister said he's sorry, he said sorry to the FNM. He didn't say sorry to the Bahamian people. He never say sorry to the Bahamian people. And for them to ever get any kind of power, anything in this country, need to come to the Bahamian people and apologize, not the FNM. All right,
let's see what he said exactly. I think He's quoted, "It has been an extraordinary privilege to serve our country as Prime Minister and as Member of Parliament. I thank the Bahamian people and the members of the Free National Movement for their support and their encouragement. I also thank the many well-wishers for their advice, their prayers, and their assistance. We all need God's grace. Where I have made mistakes, I ask for your forgiveness." The many well-wishers for their advice, their prayers, and their assistance where I've made mistakes. I mean, that's pretty broad.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty broad.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much everybody. That's pretty much everybody. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
The caller probably wanted personal.
How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Hi. Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Morning. Mene, tickle you fasten. You know what that means?
Tell us. Latin for something.
Dr. Menace, you have been found wanting and weighed in the balance, but found wanting. Even although Dr. Menace is apologizing, he still sounds pathetic. You understand? He don't sound real. How come all of a sudden after fun you just realize?
But it doesn't matter, right, caller? Because see, I mean, if someone says, I think apology is not really for the person who is receiving it, it's for the person who is asking for it, right? And so whether he's sincere or not, he's moving off the scene and he said, forgive me. Now you could either accept it or not.
Listen, he need to go in one dark corner, him and the Lord, he said, and ask for forgiveness. Because the Bahamian people ain't buying him one way or another. And JJ, you was my boy. I was the only Valley boy you used to let in your shack 3 months before Jonko. You know that never used to happen between Saxons and Valley, right? But all the former prime ministers apologized to us, and he ain't none was sincere. From Sir Lyndon, from Hubert Ingram, come back and say he named Papa, he changed with the grandchildren. But the Bahamian people didn't realize why he named their Papa yet. That was after Papa died. Full control. Christy come back and say,
that's
yeah,
right
see,
at
I
all.
think, yeah.
I don't think that
If someone says, I'm sorry, it's not for us to say whether they're sincere or not. Dr. Minis says his era is probably ended and he's moving on. And so I say, move on. He said he's sorry. Let's move on. We don't want to stay stuck in a place where we still arguing about this, that.
How long are you going to hold on to that? What will that do?
Exactly. I think he said sorry. He's sorry. The party is moving on. The country has moved on. Mm-hmm. And I think this can only be good for us.
Yeah. All right. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight and Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, one down and one to go.
Don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Oh, that means we talked 2 minutes down, and now we got, and then the next person is Dr. Dwight Sands. One down, one to go.
Oh, you want him to apologize, or what do you want?
No, I mean, no, we just saying boredom with Dwayne. Dwayne is a good guy. He's a very good professional doctor, but he ain't prime minister material. So that's why.
So let me ask you, what is prime minister material for you? Personally.
What is prime minister material to me, right? Is somebody, especially when you had the opportunity to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once you did something for the country, right? And you made some inward movement or grants or for the country, right? And then you was right there, you was fighting literally for the people and not your party, right? See,
and you're saying Dwayne Sands wasn't doing that?
No, Dwayne Sands? No. Let me tell you what, you might not know what Dwayne Sands was doing, but see, I have an idea what he was doing, right?
Okay, well.
Dwayne Sands was campaigning for leadership of the FLM from the inception of Dwayne Sands, because Dwayne Sands feels that he is capable of, he is, but I don't feel we need an ex-doctor at this time, right? That's just me, right? I don't
the career choice doesn't really matter.
I think we had that mistake the last time we said we need a doctor. I don't think it's about the profession. I think it's about the person, their character, and their leadership skills.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's man, woman, black, white. I think it's about that.
All three of us could come to that agreement, right? But at the end of the day, right? Politics is a trendy type of situation,
I get you.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to break the trend of the doctors for right now, right? And introduce somebody else like a Michael Pentard, right? Because that's my guy, right? He made that's the person, not my guy, but that's the person I would like to see as the leader of the Free National Movement, because he was a fighter while he was there. He was a real fighter, and then why he was minister of responsible for fisheries, things that happen for the Bahamian people, right? So I don't see nobody else in the House of Assembly right now, right? Not that I hate on none of those guys, because all of them have good values and potential, but Michael Pintard is the guy in this time for the leadership of the Free National Movement, because I still believe he has the power of unity with him to bring the FLM together that they desperately needed at this time.
Well, you personally don't have the word, but Dwayne Sam, because he's not in the House of Assembly, and I think the FNM has, the leader of the House, the leader of business for the opposition has indicated that will be ideal for the leader of the party to be in the House.
In the House.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Yeah, it will take the grace of God for Shane Gibson those to accept his apology, because Shane Gibson's name has already been in question by the Guardian, according to what you read, Dwight, for the position that you all say he might achieve. I don't understand why he was found not guilty. See, when you mess up people's name, people call you controversial and wonder if you will be in the position to accept or how would that look. You stain people's name, but yet you keep on two ministers who was condemned by the judge. Now, for God's sake, I don't understand why Shane Gibson, he is already found guilty. I'm not guilty. Why is he not suitable for the position?
Oh, nobody said that he wasn't.
Yeah, but then you're questioning it. Why?
But see, people can do that. People,
I understand that, but you mess up people's names.
Oh, I get you. See,
That's my point. You mess up and you stain people's names.
Okay, people can question whatever they want to question.
I understand
and so
that,
make
but
way
that's
for that.
my point. I understand that.
At the end of the day, the position.
So that means
the
if
person
you're
who's
found not
awarded,
guilty, you must get just throw away.
No. I'm saying it is brave Prime Minister Davis that has that authority and that right to choose whomever he chooses for the position.
Yes, I understand that. I agree with that.
Yeah, and
but
so
my point is, why was he? Because the Guardian heard it. Why would they print it in such a way?
Well, your issue is that the fact that we printed that it will be a controversial move. That's what your issue is. Well, it would be a controversial move. You know that people are saying that right now, right?
Yes,
We're
but
getting
I
text
understand
messages.
that. But you stay in people's names. That's why I say it.
Controversial doesn't mean like
no, but
shocking.
then you pick it out.
It will be
never
a controversial move. It will be a controversial move. You know that very well.
I am saying to you, when your name is stained. That's my point.
Okay,
That's
and
why
who are you
I said
blaming
take
for
the
this?
grace of God
You're blaming
for
Dennis for this.
Shane Gibson Dawes to accept Dr. Minnis' apology while he keep on his two condemned ministers.
Right, but it doesn't matter.
My point.
But it doesn't matter whether Shane Dawes accept his apology or not. That's not what apology is about. It doesn't matter. So I say for all of us to heal, move on. It doesn't matter whether they accept it or not. He said it, and you can accept it or you can choose not to. I just advise not to dwell.
Very passionate.
Not to dwell on it.
You think he's feeling that passionately about it this morning?
I don't know.
That's serious.
don't know.
I hope someone has that passion for me
yeah.
somewhere in the world. I really do. I really
Maybe,
do.
right?
I doubt it. I truly doubt it. But good morning, caller. You're on the air.
I hope someone has that for me. Right?
Man. Hi. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning, Bob.
Yes, good morning.
Well, you all having fun today?
Well, we are here looking at the world.
Well, look here. Dr. Minnis make my day this morning. I can't wait for Wednesday to see the new opposition action. I would like to hear Dr. Minnis say that at on Parliament on Wednesday. I want to watch that on my parliamentary channel.
Oh, you want him to apologize in Parliament?
Yes, I want him to do that in Parliament. Parliament is a place for you to do that. But Dream
What's he going to
Son-
apologize for in Parliament?
Well, what do you apologize for in the church? When you say in the church?
Well, he says if he disappointed, if he didn't do the things, right? But I mean, what would...
Yeah, what I'm saying about him, whatever he did in J. Try tears, we call it crocodile tears in my book, but if I want to see that on my
I
Parliament,
suspect they weren't crocodile tears. I think
Yeah,
this has
somebody
been
wanted
a
to see it on
stain on him, and this will be his legacy is going to be
You know what I think?
not good.
You know what I think, caller?
Hold on, Jordan Brown. Let me finish this. A reason why I'm saying that too, because the opposition in Parliament, Dr. Minnis would be bold enough to say it, where I could see it on my parliamentary channel and other folks can see it and weigh in. Better is reality. Or you mentioned crocodile, right?
Well, you did.
Well, yeah, I did. But that's where I like to see it. Now, the question is, I've been calling for Dr. Dwight a long time to be the leader of the FNM. I think that he could build the party back into people's confidence. You know what I mean? And I mean, the former Prime Minister and his colleagues really disappoint the people, including the Minister of Health. Walk away and you can't find them, and the Minister of Education. So it's a heavy task to bring the FNM together, like Humpty Dumpty back on the wall again. And I believe Dr. Sands can handle that task.
Why do you say that? Why? What do you know about Dr. Sands?
Dr. Sands was an active Parliament. He was the only man who was very honest. When he resigned with an honest way. He was very honest. During that time, with who let the dog and the white lady in, he was honest. He resigned. But the guy who really needed to resign is the Minister of Aviation. He didn't resign. And the Prime Minister should have made him resign. I mean, former Prime Minister during that time. But Dr. Sands was very honest, and I respect his honesty. I respect his honesty as a man. I failed. I messed up. I resigned.
Okay.
And the Prime Minister didn't demand him to resign. I mean, former Prime Minister. Not my Prime Minister now, former Prime Minister.
Well, we don't know about that part. But he did accept his apology. Which
So that's your number
many
one.
felt he shouldn't have.
Hold on, Bob. You're jumping. I can hear
No,
that.
you're saying you don't think he asked him to resign. So we don't know that. But he didn't.
Did he move? What do you mean we don't know that?
We don't know if he didn't ask him to resign.
Who?
If Minnis didn't ask Sands to
Yeah,
resign.
but then again, we don't know. Like, make it publicly. Leadership.
But he didn't. He did accept his resignation, which
Yeah.
again others felt that he didn't need to. It wasn't that serious a situation. That
I don't
warranted-
recall reading that in the newspaper, right?
Which part?
That's right, newspaper. That's free. Get that
Which part don't you recall?
What you just said.
Which part?
What you just said.
Which part of what I said? What are you saying?
Repeat what you said.
No, you said you don't know whether Minnis didn't ask him to resign. I said we don't know if he did or did not.
But the public don't know. I'm only going on the public
Right.
side.
But I'm saying
only
that
going on the public side. The public look at it as poor. Dr. Minister, Dwight Sands is the only gentleman that come out honestly. The rest, like I mentioned, aviation, let him get away.
But aviation didn't win
Thanks a
a
lot.
seat, so he's not even in
Yeah,
Parliament.
we can
I
move
mean,
on now.
like-
That's a lot of. That's old news.
I think, generally speaking, Dwight, and this is just my personal opinion, we in this country are not used to saying we're sorry and people accepting that.
Yeah.
Because it's like someone says they're sorry, and then we have a whole conversation about that, whether they are sincere or they're not sincere.
The biggest problem is people will say they're sorry and go back and do the same thing.
Well,
again.
see, then that's it.
That's
Right.
That's why no one values an apology.
Right, but if you say that you're sorry, it doesn't matter if someone accepts it or not. You said you're sorry. Now, if they go back and do the same thing, you go back and criticize them for it.
And then don't accept the next one.
Well, it
Right?
doesn't matter.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
So all morning long, we're going to be paying some tributes to the very special things, the special nuggets that Dr. Minnis gave us over the years, the special clips, the audio that only a Dr. Minnis could. We'll be back.
Memory of sentimental verse, nothing in my purse, and chuckles when the preacher said, for better or for worse.
So what happened to the 6 MPs?
What about that you don't understand?
This head of parliament.
If you look at the alphabet, A is A, B is B, C is C. That don't change. 1, 2, 3. I gave the answer. Bye-bye.
Little things of jade and traffic jams and anagrams and bills we never paid.
How lovely it was. We who could laugh over big things were parted by only a slight thing.
I wonder if we did the right thing. Oh, well, that's life, I guess.
I love your dress.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Your real-time traffic, we've got Mile Butler Highway, heavy traffic northbound as usual at this hour, from just north of Fire Trail in the northbound lanes up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. It's looking pretty heavy this morning. Gladstone looking slightly better for you, but still heavy in the northbound lane about midway between Fire Trail and JFK Drive. Blue Hill Road also busy, especially north of Soldier Road, the northbound lanes to Independence Drive. Independence Drive backed up a bit as well, westbound to that roundabout with Blue Hill Road. Further south on Blue Hill Road, it's going to be busy for you as you get closer to Carmichael Road, and Carmichael is backed up eastbound to Blue Hill. And then further south at the intersection with Zion Boulevard and Cowpen Road, especially westbound on Zion and eastbound on Cowpen, heading towards that intersection with Blue Hill. Pockets along Cowpen Road as well. Then we've got building traffic westbound on Carmichael to the Coral Harbor Road roundabout. And Coral Harbor Road seeing some pockets of traffic south of that roundabout this morning. In eastern New Providence, so far not so bad, but at the major intersections we'll be seeing some traffic, like Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue, and Prince and Soldier and Robinson. That's what we're looking at so far. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. And it's time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a surface trough along with streaming moisture that will continue to maintain unsettled weather across the islands. For all areas today, forecast calls for variably cloudy and humid conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the northwest Bahamas. Showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Gusty winds and higher seas expected in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Boaters should exercise caution due to the threat of waterspout activity in or near showers and thunderstorms. Temperature-wise, today we are looking at highs getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. Right now we are already at 80 degrees under fair skies in Nassau. In your extended outlook, our frontal boundary is expected to move over the northwest Bahamas on Tuesday as moisture moves away from the islands for at least the next few days. So for Tuesday, tomorrow, partly sunny and warm with a chance of passing isolated showers, becoming fair and mild at night. Wednesday, partly sunny and warm with a chance of passing isolated showers, becoming fair and mild at night. In the tropics, a non-tropical area of low pressure is expected to form off the east coast of the United States in the next day or so. The system has about a 40% chance of cyclone development through the next 5 days. Elsewhere, tropical cyclone formation is not expected through the next 5 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Best rates, no delays. Best rates, no delays.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a PTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Unlock your home potential with a home equity loan from RBC and let your greatest asset fund your home improvement and personal projects. Switch your mortgage to RBC today and experience the difference with no management fees, cash back on closing costs, and step-by-step guidance from our team of expert mobile mortgage finance specialists. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/equity loan. Reimagine new ways to bank better with RBC.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Piggy Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. Add an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
People helping people to help themselves. All right, watch this. The credit union of the Bahamas, job card ain't got nothing on them. There's the plug. People helping people to help themselves. Don't believe me? Join the credit union and watch your money grow like Chef and Needle. Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings. Yeah, go join one. Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make. More what? Stop that. Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings. Let me get my money there. Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make. Join a credit union. Watch your savings grow with higher interest rates. Become a member and purchase some shares. Then ownership is coming your way. They offer local banking members the owner. Personalized service. Come and join the credit union and your choice will be the smartest. Again, credit unions are the smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Thanks for the memory of sentimental verse, nothing in my purse, and chuckles when the preacher said, for better or for worse. How lovely
these lips. You kind of say, have you gotten any support since losing your life? You will hear everything from these lips, upper and lower.
And traffic jams and anagrams and bills we never paid.
How lovely.
That one's just creepy.
Classic.
That was just a creepy one. One of the recent ones. We're going to go back a little further with them all morning long. But some gems. Just colorful statements that I don't know if we're going to be hearing anything like that anytime soon from a prime minister of the Bahamas. Is that a good thing? Perhaps. But, hey. All right, so getting more of your reaction to this, what's happening within the FNM and the Minnis era coming to an end, his tearful farewell yesterday at the FNM 50th anniversary church service. Let's take some more of your calls and we'll get to your text messages. And then there's some news about the who may be running for chairman of the FNM as well. We'll get to that a little bit later. But let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Yes, sir. Good morning to all.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. It seems like the PLP is still in campaign mood, because every morning, right, the chairman of the PLP and Minister of Foreign Affairs, he puts out this press statements, not press conferences, but press statements, and and we have like the international news this morning about the U.S. and their tax system, you know what I'm saying? The taxing the paper there, the things that the expenses of the government. You see, when are we in the Bahamas going to get to those issues? The PLP is the government. So I feel that we as Bahamians needs to make demands of the government of the Bahamas. Election is over, you see, and you know, and to talk about the minister asking forgiveness. You know, I didn't hear him ask for forgiveness in that clip. I hear him saying that he's not perfect. You know, and from my recollection, the only prime minister that ever spoke on that reign was Lyndon Pinland. He asked for forgiveness. He said that he made mistakes. You understand, Sammy? But none other has done the same. You know, when is Christie gonna ask for forgiveness for the tax system that he put upon us and other things that he's done, just the privatization of the numbered business that's not done over the world.
What will it do? Will you sleep better at night? Will you have more money in your pockets if they do say, forgive me? Because the system's remaining in place.
It's not relevant. It's not relevant. What I need to do is ask them is what they going to do going forward. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do going forward? You see, minutes being in the news, the F&M being in the news, it's no good to us right now. They have no power. The PLP is have the power in this country. It's them that are governing us. What are we asking for from our governments? What our government today? That's my issue in this country. When is the opposition gonna hold the government of the day feet to the fire? When are they gonna combat their daily address to the nation from their chairman? When are their chairman gonna step up? You see, and put the questions to them about going forward. What are they gonna do going forward?
All right, thank you very much.
Me personally, I don't need a former prime minister to apologize to me. I don't need that. I think that's a personal choice. I think as it relates to Dr. Minnis, because of that defeat, because they suffered such a great defeat, you know, a lot of members of parliament lost their seats and the popular vote was declined and a lot of F&Ms did not show up to the poll to support the party. So he is saying,
he definitely owes people an apology. He called an early election. For what reason? People were telling you this was not going to end well. There's a lot to apologize for. He definitely needed to say something.
I remember I said before in 2018, the Conservative Party, the 1922 committee made Theresa May apologize. She called an election and she lost the majority that Cameron had delivered. Mm-hmm. And those persons who lost their seat, they made they told the fire advisors and apologized to those persons. So if you want to do that, that's your personal choice, fine. But I personally don't need a prime minister to apologize to me generally. And if they want to, that's fine. And if they don't,
And to the caller, come on now. This is the quote, right? Quote: "We all need God's grace. Where I've made mistakes, I ask for your forgiveness." Okay, so whether you wanted to hear, "I am so sorry," and that's the apology right there, and
And then to his comment about Fred Mitchell's still the chairman of his party. Mm-hmm. And so I think he has a right to campaign or to right to advise party supporters and membership any way he sees fit.
And he sends it out on WhatsApp and on his social media. So that's his business.
Yeah, exactly.
That's whatever he wants to do.
Get all worked up about that.
Yeah, come on. That's his business. That's what he wants to do. It doesn't get all widespread coverage from the media unless it's something very interesting. So I think you get a little worked up. Everybody's getting a little worked up about the wrong things.
Unnecessarily so.
Right, unnecessarily so. But I do agree with you. We do need to know more about the way forward. We do need to know more about the way forward. And I hear people talking about give them some time. And of course, people are giving the government some time. But
when they say give them some time for what?
I don't know. To settle in, to figure out what's going on.
To what? You know, because my thing is, I think as they govern, then there will be commentary.
Yeah. So every week you should get a clearer picture.
If you do something, persons won't say, well, okay, I wouldn't comment on that. I'll give you a month. No. Mm-hmm. As they govern, people will commentate.
Yeah. We heard the former Prime Minister Christie. I don't know why anyway. 6 months, he says? No. There's very few jobs where they will have you on 6 months before they start to
And given the
evaluate you.
circumstances
Yeah,
that we are in really, really
Yeah.
serious times. So you ought to have hit the ground running.
Yeah, I really do think it's going to be the 100 days before the harsh critiques will be coming in, right? And that'll take us right after Christmas.
I don't think so. I think people are critiquing
people
as
already
they go.
starting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
Some
think
already
people are going
starting.
to wait and then they start
Right.
talking.
No.
I think as the time progresses, people are going to have
Yeah.
their say.
Every utterance will elicit a response, and that is what's happening. And
Whether that's you're doing a good job here, I support that, or I disagree with that, that's the commentary.
yeah. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Tom, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, listen, Dwight, I really want you and Tom to weigh this apology to the backdrop of the 4.5 years that the Prime Minister would have run this country. He ran the Bahamas like it was his own personal Bahamas. You know, they have done so much to the Bahamian people. I don't think you guys understand of the Bahamians who have missed so much opportunities, of the businesses that were closed down due to the lockdowns and the way the Prime Minister ran the country, closing roads for one citizen to benefit from, causing the loss of life and the pain and suffering that people have to deal with. I mean, dragging former ministers before the court with unfounded, stacking evidence against them. I mean, the things that they have done to the people in this country. I mean, the citizens that suffered, students not being able to be properly educated. You cannot just take a simple apology from the Prime Minister for the way they run this country. I think the Bahamian people need to establish an office in this country when you have a failed Prime Minister or a failed minister, that they pay retribution back to the people.
Wow.
By going in that office and working the full 4.5 or 5 years free of charge for the Bahamian people.
Okay.
That's a bit extreme.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, and Dr. Bidders and his party was punished for a lot of those things you said at the polls, and that's the way the system works.
My goodness.
He was
be back.
punished.
We'll be back after the news, folks. Stay with us.
We're parted by only a slight thing.
I wonder if we did the right thing. Oh, well, that's life, I guess.
I love your dress.
Do you?
It's pretty.
Thanks for the memory of faults that you forgave.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 and Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 4224796. And now at 8:22, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got a surface trough across the area, along with streaming moisture that will continue to maintain unsettled weather across the Bahamas. Boaters should be alert for the possibility of waterspouts in or near showers or thunderstorms. For all areas today, look for variably cloudy and humid conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the northwest Bahamas. Showers may become heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Gusty winds and higher seas expected in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. Temperature-wise, look for highs getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a frontal boundary is expected to move over the northwest Bahamas by tomorrow, as most of the moisture will move away from the islands. So, for Tuesday, partly sunny and warm conditions with a chance of a few passing isolated showers, becoming fair and mild at night. Wednesday, partly sunny and warm with a chance of passing isolated showers, becoming fair and mild at night. And we are expecting temperatures to hold, conditions to hold until a strong cold front comes through by the end of the weekend, or before the start of the weekend, and for the beginning of next week. In the tropics are quiet, non-tropical, except for a non-tropical area of low pressure expected to form off the east coast of the United States in the next day or so. The system has about a 40% chance of cyclone development through the next 5 days. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And time for another check of the traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. We've got a lot of hot spots to tell you about this morning, so let's start from west to east, where you've got Carmichael Road, westbound to Coral Harbor Road. You're going to be seeing some heavy traffic there, and Coral Harbor Road as well, just south of the roundabout with Carmichael Road. Heavy traffic heading in that direction. Then we've got Gladstone Road. Heavy traffic there from just north of Fire Trail up to JFK Drive. And as usual, Mile Butler Highway, heavy traffic from well south of Fire Trail in the roundabout there up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. Traffic is backed up eastbound on Fire Trail as well to that roundabout with Mile Butler Highway. Then Carmichael Road, eastbound to Blue Hill Road. You're going to be seeing some heavy traffic there, making your way to Blue Hill. And Blue Hill is busy, especially north of Soldier Road, north to Independence Drive. Independence Drive also backed up quite a ways westbound to that roundabout with Blue Hill Road. Further south on Blue Hill Road, you're going to be running into some traffic as you get closer to the intersection with Zion Boulevard and Cowpen Road. Zion especially westbound to that intersection, looking very busy for you. East Street between Robinson Road and south of Soldier Road, you're going to be seeing heavy traffic in the northbound lanes mainly, especially north of the roundabout with Independence Drive and East West Highway, and the intersection with Robinson Road. And then further east, we've got the intersection, Soldier, Wolf, Bernard, and Village. Very busy there, and Bernard Road is looking messy for you, especially westbound this morning near the schools in the area. Eastern Road also busy, especially west of Foxhill Road, westbound to Johnson Road. And then Prince Charles Drive, the major intersections, Prince and Foxhill, Prince and Beatrice, Prince and Soldier. So lots of hot spots, lots of patience needed today. That's real-time traffic in your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Thanks for the memory of sentimental verse.
F&M government will introduce legislation that will provide for a 2-term limit for prime ministers, a recall system for non-performing members of parliament, the introduction of local government throughout New Providence, the establishment of the independence of the office of the President of the Senate and the office of the Speaker of the House of Assembly in order to entrench impartiality, an independent director of public prosecutions with no oversight by the Attorney General.
Morning Blend, quote of the week, airing so that's taken from one of our quote of the weeks from years back. Maybe it was a future thing. Maybe he's looking into the, right? Crystal ball gazing from, I don't know. We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Pamela Musgrove. We're looking back at some of the things said
There were some good promises.
amazing.
Yeah, and I think the FNM should continue on with those.
Yeah.
Like the
You-
next
you
leader.
Don't, you don't think the current government is going to try to put some of those in place?
Well, wherever they fall down, if they do, then I think they should carry on with some of those
Yeah.
promises that they made.
This is what we're saying. We've been saying it. A lot of people had a lot of high hopes for that.
Yeah.
Despite the challenges they had getting to where where he became the leader of the party and with them winning, despite all of that, there were lots of hopes pinned on all of them.
I think that's why so many people were so disappointed.
Yes, extremely.
Yeah.
And this is why people are just rejected them at the election. Just said, I'm not coming
Yeah.
out. What's the point?
Yeah.
Because last time I came out and what did I get?
And it was disappointing that they didn't see that beforehand. Like they went along like that didn't matter.
Right. Yes.
Either they saw it and didn't care, or they just didn't see it.
Yeah. No biggie. Put us back in and maybe we'll get around to it.
Yeah.
My word.
But we can move on from that because he has stepped down.
It's over.
As leader, and the party is moving forward. The country has
Yes, that's
moved
right.
forward.
This
Moved
is
forward.
this is the end of it today.
Yes. Yes.
Let's take this call. And I have to get to all these text messages. So many to get to this morning. But caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Time 30 seconds. Listen, the precedent has been set. This is the lowest bar of governance that we have ever seen in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. If we don't hold these guys to account, then what does it say for the administrations that comes behind?
But that's
If we do
subjective,
not-
caller. That's subjective. You saying this is the lowest? That's subjective.
Well, I mean,
How do you measure that? How do you measure that?
So you measure it by every other governance that has been in this country, the way the citizens has been treated, the way the country has been governed, the things that has happened. Now you say, yeah, we had a pandemic and we had hurricanes, but we've had pandemics before. We've had hurricanes before. You understand?
Well,
So,
I implore you to go back to 2007 and hear what people were saying about
Yes, I'm saying that's subjective.
That previous
Yeah.
administration that was
That's
going
all
out.
subjective.
They were not happy with those folks. Not at all.
To the point
but
where only
my
4
point, though-
members of parliament was left standing, right? So my thing is, it's all subjective, and to try to measure that, it's going to be difficult. So what we just need to do when these guys don't do what they say they're going to do, just vote them out and keep moving. Vote them out, move them from leadership, and let's keep moving until we get the right set of people.
How does the country grow? How does the country grow that way? How does the citizens of the country benefit from being citizens in the country if all we get to do is just vote them out in 5 years after suffering for so many? I mean, some people have not had a break in this country in over 20 years. I mean, where do you establish yourself in your country if you allow this type of governance to continue without penalty? I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, where do citizens in this country actually get a break?
Well, they say leadership comes from out of us. Like our members of parliament, they come from the people. So hopefully there are people out there with wisdom that are looking at this and saying, okay, I see what the Bahamian people want. I see what they don't like. And so they will do better. Hopefully. But I don't think we should stay stuck. I don't think when we have a group of persons who are not doing a good job, we should keep them in. I think we should move forward.
Yeah.
And that's an indication that we will not tolerate what you're doing.
All right, we'll take this call and then we'll go to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Glenn. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
Wonderful. Our God is an awesome God, eh?
Indeed he is.
I mean, here it is. We have a celebration and admission and a seemingly apology in the same church that Mr. Minnis decided for it not to be. Don't open up, and then you do open up an hour. Okay? But God is we all deserve grace, and He is a pardoning God. But I should hope Mr. Minnis truly and honestly seek His face, because the damage He's done to our country is so unbearable. And I should hope that this Progressive Liberal Party administration does its duty to come to work. You didn't come on the job. And as for Mr. Cooper, that was in this morning's news, he spoke about Ragged Island. You know, Ragged Island is suffering from the hurricane before Dorian, and he promised to do his best for those ladies down there and for the school children and for the nurse to shortly arrive. I'm holding him, his feet to the fire with that, and I've got it on tape, and I should hope he delivers.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
morning, Glenn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to
Mr.
get
Cooper
to some other things he's
spoke
saying.
about Chinese investment too in tourism, and I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second because eyes are open,
Yeah.
wide open on that one. Okay, this one here, let's get to your text message. So this person says here, government should not accept liability or illegal behavior by police. Oh, this is okay. That officer should have been charged with grievous harm, kidnapping, and terrorist behavior in jail. This is that case. We didn't talk about that this morning, but it was on the news about the officer who, the man who's been awarded more than $64,000 plus $18,000 in costs by an off-duty officer who hit him in the mouth.
Was he
caused a lot of
fired?
damage.
Was
no,
he
no, he's
should have-
been
yeah.
docked 8 days' pay.
No,
that's
he
all.
should have lost his job for that. Yeah, he should have lost his job.
Yeah, of
Send a
course.
message that type of behavior
Very
is
bizarre.
it's
Very
not
bizarre.
accepted. He should have lost his job.
Absolutely. This one says here, I do not have any problem with the former minister being chairman. Oh, this is the Gibson matter. Being chairman or deputy chairman. Shane Gibson is a people's person. He's very helpful towards us, average men, to the average man. No problem with that.
Well, no matter how we feel about it, it's what the prime minister wants to do.
This one says here, oh, there's a lot of these. Okay. I can't read that on the air. No. This one says here, Minister doesn't think he did anything wrong. When someone apologizes for the action and says they are not perfect, it isn't an apology, but an accusation against the people they are apologizing to. Minnis is a narcissist. Further, Minnis seems to think the F&M supporters are stupid, and like any true narcissist, he thinks they are too stupid to see through his subtle insult. Okay.
Well, he has apologized. He has stepped down. He's no longer leader. So the party will pick a new leader. And I think that's the end of that.
Okay. This one says here, now that Dr. Minnis is finished as leader and more likely finished as prime minister, well, yes, all right. What will be his legacy? What will indeed?
Well, they say history tends to be kinder.
You think?
So hopefully when time passes, people will come up with something.
Well, it was quite a time, as they kept reminding us, Dorian and the pandemic. No leader anywhere in the world would want to have to deal with the two of them back to back.
It's not the fact that you had to deal with them. It's how you dealt
Exactly.
with them.
So that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Going back to what you're saying about history being kind, well, they'll say that he was faced with unbelievable challenges.
Right.
And despite this, whatever, they may look at it like that. But we will see. Right now, we're a little too close to the situation, perhaps, and people are feeling salty, as they say. This one says here, this text, Dr. Minnis needs to ask God for forgiveness, but if he feels he needs to apologize to F&Ms only, no problem. But the way his government treated us as Bahamians was unacceptable and totally uncalled for and unnecessary. Now he needs to ask his cabinet to apologize so we can all move forward. Really? Well, some of them have. Some of them have said
They don't
that.
have to,
but,
though.
I mean, but what will
They don't-
happen?
yeah,
Will you not move forward?
That would make
You're
you
gonna
feel
be-
better. Like, okay, you support them now, but they don't have to.
I can breathe.
They don't have
apologize. This one says here, what kind of church allows such activity from a political party? What a mockery.
to. No, I disagree with that.
All of
I
them.
disagree with that.
Almost all.
Yeah, but I
Texter.
disagree with that. That you go to church. They went to church as, I guess, means of Thanksgiving
Yeah,
for their
to
50th
celebrate.
anniversary. Yeah. Well, what better place to go is to the church?
Yes. This one says here, tell JJ the next generation thinks just like their parents and have been programmed to maintain their wealth just as their parents did. Some people, not all, of course. Not all, right? Just like we know that many older Bahamians didn't agree with the way things were going back then or now, right? So it doesn't matter. Many different people of various age groups have different views.
Exactly.
So the sooner we can all agree on that and recognize that, the better we'll be.
Yeah.
Because if you think it's just certain people of an age group that all act a certain way, that's insane. That's insane. This one says, that's not an apology. He said, if I have done wrong or where I have done wrong, a genuine apology acknowledges specific wrongs. Then the apology can and will be accepted. Okay. Another one here. I don't see the need for ex-prime ministers to apologize. You get the government you vote for.
Yeah.
It takes a real man to apologize and ask for forgiveness from others. Not too many males will do that. 2 thumbs up for Dr. Minnis. Okay. This one says, so the caller is saying we don't need a doctor, but we had 3 lawyers, and how did that help? Another one here. Oh boy, let me not go there. Okay. I'm not an FNM, but I forgive Dr. Minnis. It takes a lot of courage to say you're sorry. God forgave us for our sins. Another text. The worst prime minister is only saying I'm sorry to save the FNM party. He doesn't care about the Bahamian people. Dwight, that gentleman's delusional. I don't know what they're talking about. The FNM had the PLP and the current prime minister's name in their mouth from they got in back in 2017 until they got kicked out. Oh, is he the one who was saying the PLP sounds like they're campaigning?
Campaigning, yeah.
So that's 4.5 years of campaigning. We've just been campaigning
But
since
that's what's happened, yeah.
1992, if not before.
Maybe since the 1998. No.
Since after the 97?
No, after the 2007
No,
election.
I think you think you're right. Since 98, when Ingram was saying he was not going to run again because he promised 2 terms only.
Right.
And that jockeying was going on in the FNM that entire 5-year period. And it got nasty. Remember, FNM's left. It was terrible. And I think we've been in that state since 1997.
You think so?
I'm telling you now.
Wow.
Bahamians have always been obsessed with politics. So from the beginning,
But politics affects so much of our lives.
Yeah, exactly.
It just
so
affects
1800s.
Yeah.
1492. How about that? From that time. Oh boy. Anyway, okay, a couple more messages and then we got to take a call and take a break. Minutes apologized to the FNMs at the church service, not the Bahamian people. He was addressing the congregation, not the country. Do better reporting, please. Again, that's interpretation. So that's what you think. That's what you think, right? He knows that everybody was there. He knows the cameras and the audio and everybody was there. He told them he needed to come and hear what he had to say. So that's your interpretation. And if you think it was just, that's your business. Go right ahead. He only apologized to them. Now you're going to hold that grudge forever. Well, there you go. I really don't know what him apologizing to you. Maybe he needs to read the jury list. Go down and read the whole thing. I apologize to you, this person, and this one, and this one, and this one. And then everyone will say, yeah, he apologized. Okay. Dr. Minnis disqualified himself by saying he will never be perfect. Oh, that's insane. Okay. Another text. Most don't understand English. Minnis said, where I made mistakes, that is an acknowledgement that the other person thinks he would have made mistakes, not that he thinks he made mistakes. This is getting really crazy.
I tell you, I don't think we're used to this apology thing. I think this is new for us. This apology thing,
Okay, so this is going. The whole thing is this. It's all morning. We don't accept his apology. That's another one. That's the way the system runs. If they don't do a good job, vote them out. Okay.
Yeah, I said that before, and I'm going to say it again. If they're not living up to the expectations that they led us to believe, vote them out. Let's keep moving until we find persons who take us seriously and will do the things that they say that they will do and to move the country forward.
Right. And this will be his final text message here. Someone says here, those voice notes from Fred Mitchell sound like the re-education messages in those dystopian movies where the population is constantly inundated with brain-numbing propaganda. Just stop. You're in power now. Haiti is about to explode. The detention center is losing knife, fork, and people left, right, and center. There's more than enough to do.
You know, I've never heard any of them.
You haven't?
I've never.
No. You want me to send them to you every morning?
I'm just saying. I mean, obviously, people who want to hear them, but I don't even know where to find it.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I can forward them.
No,
to you.
I don't.
You sure?
No,
No.
I don't want nor need them. I'm just saying, if you don't want to hear them, you don't have to.
They come in very early.
I
3, 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
Yeah, I've never heard it.
So as my alarms are going off, I see messages from
your alarm is late to the messages.
Well, they come around the same time.
Okay.
So for something, and then look, it's okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Yeah, you know one thing I don't understand, right? Churches say they can't have funerals or whatever inside. People can't come inside the church to have a funeral, right? With the body in the church. But yet you could have a day of whatever they have for them call it inside the big church on the street. That's hypocritical, man.
But you remember, caller, they had said the rationale that Dr. Minnis gave was that if the body is there, people would be crying, and those tears, can cause COVID to spread.
Well, they'd be emotional and try to hug, and
that's why people have been
consoling
having
people.
memorial services without the body.
But watch this. The same people hugging are close family who are relatives and who stay together anyhow. And plus, if the body is not in the church, they said you could have the funeral or home-going celebration, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the same amount of people for home-going celebration was the same amount of people inside the church for the F&M, whatever the heaven said was.
Mm-hmm.
Because that there is just a bunch of garbage. And I hope the present Prime Minister put an end to that garbage, because guess what? People are going to mourn and cry in the graveyard. And the same people that mourn and cry and hugging each other and consoling each other are family with relatives, are close to each other anyhow. So there's a bunch of garbage. That's all I have to say on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's get ready to go to a break. I just want to read a couple more messages as we go. Dr. Minnis apologized and resigned as leader. We can debate whether or not he is genuine, but what the focus for the party needs to be is the next leader, one who may not be popular with their general counsel, but will be respected and can convince the electorate. And this one here, Bahamians ask for an apology, and when they get it, they can't handle it.
No.
I just don't get it.
I don't get it
you
either.
and me and Pam, all of us are with you there.
I don't get it either.
All right, we'll be back.
They're going to frighten people from saying, I'm sorry.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the memory of tinkling temple bells, alma mater yell,
And Cuban rum and towels from the very best hotel.
It's essential before jumping off the cliff and asking questions. It's essential to review the heads of agreement. Then you come after me. Then you come after me, but don't come in the blind. You know, it's like you sitting on the moon with a fishing line, dropping that line and trying to catch one fish on Earth. You don't know where the hell it's going throughout the universe. That's what you're doing.
You should have tabled the heads of agreement today then.
I should have done many things today. All right? Right now I want to get to my office. You keeping me away from that. You think that's right?
no tears, no fuss. Hooray for us.
Do you need to insure your vehicle at the best price? With the most options and free installment payments, CG Atlantic agents offer affordable coverage for everyone. Just call 677-6422 to find out how you can protect your vehicle with extra options to keep you covered. Why wait? Call CG Atlantic agents today at 677-6422. Visit us online at cgatlanticagents.com or in person at Atlantic House, 2nd Terrace and Collins Avenue. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
It's encouraging that the national COVID-19 vaccine rollout is going successfully. It's not the only precaution to reduce the spread of the virus in our communities. It's important to continue practicing safety protocols because it is our social responsibility to protect ourselves and to protect others.
Wash your hands for a friend with a weaker immune system.
Only read and share information from trusted sources to avoid unnecessary panic.
I'm gonna need y'all to avoid these large crowds. You could have loved ones at home who have underlying health conditions. Do it.
Practicing safety protocols is an act of brotherly and sisterly love.
The life you save may just be yours as well as your neighbor.
We will win.
We will win.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
That's the sound of a bite-sized payment I made on my new laptop.
Can I make a bite-sized payment on this amazing vacation?
Yes, with Scotia Select Pay. Now, my big-ticket credit card purchases are more manageable with flexible bite-sized payments over 3, 6, 9, or 12 months at a lower interest rate. Scotia Select Pay allows me to better plan my expenses over time. The best part? No credit checks or financing application. Visit bs.scotiabank.com. Conditions apply.
To win a relay, each team member must do his or her part in the race. If one member drops the baton, it impacts all of us. Across all ages, genders, abilities, nationalities, cultures, or religions, we are all on the same team, and we all have a role to play in getting to the finish line to win the race against COVID-19. Don't drop the baton on safety. Wear your mask over your mouth and nose. Keep at least 3 feet distance from others. Do not touch your face. And wash or sanitize your hands often. Together, we will win. This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Thanks for the memory of sentimental verse. Nothing in my purse. And
We'll rock. Let's talk. The young people will rock. Let's talk. The family islands and the entire Bahamas will rock. Let's talk.
Menace appeared unfazed.
We are remembering some of the interesting sayings from former Prime Minister Hubert Minnis, as the Minnis era is definitely over, and his tearful farewell yesterday. All morning long, we've been playing some of those there. And man, all right. We'll get back to the calls in just a bit. Just a couple things we want to do, just to mention that we're going to be looking at, and then we'll get to the raffle drawing in just a second there. All right, so in the business section today, there is this headline: Prospect Ridge land in dispute. 2 families claim portion of the land allocated for the government project. So in addition to all these sinkholes and all the other problems about costs and where the master plan is, now we've got land disputes. And our Paige McCartney writing about that today. At least 2 families have claimed that a portion of the land the Minnis administration allocated for its Prospect Ridge development for young professionals belongs to them. That's according to Minister of Transport and Housing, Jo Beth Colby Davis. In recent weeks, Colby Davis has criticized the project announced months before the September 16th general election by the former Prime Minister which features multifamily lots for $50,000 and single-family lots for $40,000. Just last week, she revealed there is no master plan. No master plan had been created for the project, nor had a topography study been completed, despite the Minnis administration accepting applications from about 1,500 eager young Bahamians. So, Colby Davis was on Guardian Radio's The Hit Back with Nahaja Black, and she said, quote, does Prospect Ridge have subdivision approval? No. How are you offering a subdivision without that approval? Second thing, are we sure that all of that property belongs to the Department of Housing? No. First of all, the majority of it is government property, but there are protocols for the Department of Housing to offer that as a subdivision. First of all, the Department of Housing has to own the property. Well, I just want to say one thing there. We'd been told from the beginning that this was not a Department of Housing initiative.
Okay.
This was under the Office of the Prime Minister. So, right, and that was very well known. The Department of Housing and the Minister of Housing said it all the time, that was not a housing initiative. But anyway, okay. And then Colby Davis says, quote, I have emails from two families that are saying, I'm not quite sure where you're putting this Prospect Ridge, but a portion of that property is conveyed to our family. So you have to do a title search first of all. You have to determine the property that is in the government's possession, and then the Department of Housing has to go and acquire that for us to do a subdivision on that property. Acquire that. Yeah. So a lot of work still needed to be done, it appears. I'm sure we're going to be hearing more about that over the next few weeks.
Well, I always said I had
Yeah.
a problem
Yeah.
with you zooming in on a certain segment of society. I think we have a housing crisis, and I think you should address the housing crisis in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, you mentioned this already. This is another eye-opener here in today's Guardian Business section. Deputy Prime Minister Cooper, encouraging Chinese investment in tourism, agriculture, and infrastructure. What year is this? Are we doing this again? Did we not go down this road, and did we not have some issues before? Are we seriously? Okay. Our Chester Robards writing about this. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, is inviting Chinese investors to take advantage of opportunities in the tourism, agricultural, and renewable energy sectors, and to partner with the government on projects such as the upcoming public-private partnership airport redevelopment project. And we were talking about this off air. Who owned the Grand Bahama International Airport before we bought that for $1? And although it wasn't $1, who owned it?
Hutchison Whampoa.
Which is based in
Hong Kong.
Which is a part of
China.
And they didn't.
They were the ones. Well, the negotiation as it relates to the port had not been finalized, and for that reason, the ITM group was saying, unless we get this signed over here, we're not going to sign for the hotel.
Yeah, there's that. Then remember the Bahama debacle.
But I think we have enough Chinese ownership in the country. I don't think we need to go down the road with that strategy. We don't want that. I mean, I don't think, for the most part, the Bahamian people are interested in that. You have the Point, you have Bahama on this little 21 or 22 by 7.
Now Bahama is a private, but still a Chinese-based company. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't need much more. We don't need any more major Chinese investment, particularly in the tourism
and
industry.
Agriculture. And we know
Yeah.
in the past we had some concerns about that as well.
Come on.
Major concerns about that and what was proposed for some other
I mean,
islands.
I know
Very
we are
odd.
in a desperate state, but not desperate enough for us to just throw it away like that. I don't think that's advisable.
This one final sentence on this. Cooper giving the clarion call to the Chinese during the Bahamas-China Trade and Investment Virtual Forum last week, which explored trade and investment opportunities between the two nations. Okay. Well, all right. Let's take this call, and then we're going to get to the drawing for today's Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight.
Hi.
When I call to speak about the police incident. What I don't understand about the police, right, is that these police officers, you see some of them, colleagues get themselves in trouble over the years. And they would turn right around and do something stupid, like knock out somebody, the most, and know that can land them in hot water. Myself, for example, I got a situation where I was assaulted in a Chinese store with Chinese assaulted me as a disabled, an unannounced disabled person in the Chinese store. I was assaulted.
What type of store you say?
In a Chinese store.
Or like a
I
restaurant?
was assaulted, physically assaulted. I was discriminated against, and I announced myself as disabled, visually impaired. Went to the police station. I ain't gonna really call no name to the police officer at Quackle Street Police Station. Made a official report. Told them I was bringing in my witness. When I called them 2 days later to take the witness, they told me, you don't need to bring in the witness because we have the videotape. And they say they see what happened. You know, them police officers at Quackle Street ain't get back to me yet because it's the Chinese, and they didn't know who I was because I walk in the station, you know. They figured since he walk in the station visually impaired and with a cane, using the aid of a cane, he's nobody. You understand me?
Oh, boy.
Hello?
Yeah, we're listening. That's terrible.
Yeah, right. They need to stop this. Our police officers need to stop. Now, I give them 1 more week to contact me. I can go sit down with Uncle Paul. Thanks for taking my call. Paul
Okay.
Rule, thanks for taking my call.
Okay. All right. I hope
right.
everything works out for you there. Wow. Oh, boy. Okay. That's rough. That's rough. Now, well, let's do this. Let's do the drawing for the for today, the Bahamas COVID vaccination drawing. And let's get our vaccination drawing theme music up there, and then we'll pick the 2 names and the 2 great prizes for this morning. And here we go. You ready? Yep. All right, so this is easy. If you're not already registered, I don't know what you're waiting for. All you have to do is be vaccinated or partially vaccinated or vaccinated elsewhere and register on vaxbahamas.com. And every day we draw 2 names for 2 great prizes. This is an amazing initiative from the U.S. Embassy in Nassau. And we've got 2 great prizes today. We've got 2 seats on Born Free Eleuthera, the Born Free Eleuthera excursion.
Nice.
It sounds very good. Sounds really nice. And this is always useful, a $50 Blanco gift certificate. Huh?
Yep.
So 2 great prizes. Let's see. Let's do the gift certificate first. The $50 Blanco gift certificate. The winner is Cadre Marsh. Cadre Marsh. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So is it Kate? I don't know how you pronounce it. Cater? Cadre? It can't be Cadre. Cadre? Kadre Marche. Cadre Marsh. Congratulations. You've won a $50
Congrats.
Blanco gift certificate. Good stuff. Oh, look at that. We got an applause there. Okay. Wonderful stuff. All right. And then the 2 seats on Born Free Eleuthera excursion. That sounds like a lot of fun. All right. Well, this is okay. Yeah? All right. You ready? The winner of the 2 seats on Born Free Eleuthera excursion, Natassia R. or Natasia, I don't know how you pronounce it, Natassia, and then just R. You are very, very unique, I guess. People will know who that is? Yeah? Okay. All right. Well, the U.S. Embassy is going to contact both of you, so they know who you are. They have your contact information, and they will let you know how you're going to pick up your prizes. But congratulations to both of you. Great
Congrats.
stuff there.
And the vaccination process is going very well.
Yeah.
More and more persons, Yep. And that's a good thing.
We're up to 127,567 fully vaccinated, including Johnson & Johnson as of the 23rd of October. And 132,240 people have received at least 1 dose.
That's good.
Yep. So we're getting there
We're getting
slowly.
there. Mm-hmm.
We need to pick up the pace. We
Yeah.
do, that's still just about 70%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as we get more
70%
doses of the vaccine,
unvaccinated.
it's about 300, and
Yeah.
if you conservatively take 400,000 persons, it's
Yeah.
about 300 to 320,000 persons that
Yeah.
need to be vaccinated in order to get herd immunity.
Yeah.
But we still won't be able to stop there.
No.
Yeah.
No. We got a lot of work to do, folks. So keep that in mind. Okay. We're going to take a break and be back with Morning Blend Business. We're going to be talking about the Bahamas Registered Stock Offering. What you need to know, is it for you? And that's coming up. We've got another one of these memories from Dr. Reminis as we go to the break for news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all
Thanks for the memory.
Never felt so good as I felt today. I mean, this is a great day. I've had an excellent weekend. I am not concerned about the noise of the market. We have too many issues facing this nation today. Anything's possible. What I can say now is I have never felt so great in my life. There is no bad blood between me and anybody.
And traffic jams and anagrams and bills we never paid.
How lovely it was.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Call us at 502-7010 or visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC Financing. Drive home happiness with RBC Financing affordable packages. Experience the RBC difference with up to 100% financing, extended repayment terms, and step-by-step guidance from a team of mobile experts. Find out more at rbc.com/Caribbean/autoloan. Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Best rate, no delays. Best rate, no delays.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delays.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
You have a new text message from Scotia.
Scotiabank is adding text messaging to its communication channels to keep customers updated in quicker and safer ways. As of November 4th, Scotiabank will be using text messaging to provide notifications on the minimum payment required for your credit card and due dates. Customers may continue to access their credit card statements on Scotia Online or through our mobile banking app. Learn more by contacting customer care-bahamas at scotiabank.com or call 356-1697.
Your child needs nutrients every day, and Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder. This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Milk does not contain DHA, but contains calcium and other nutrients.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Monday, October 25th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Pamela Musgrove. And this morning we're going to be talking about your money and investments. And the government has issued some registered stock, Bahamas registered stock. And the questions, are these right for you? Should you be investing your money in Bahamas registered stock? And here to answer the question, very pleased to welcome from CFAL, Senior Analyst in the Investments Department, Angela Butler. Angela, great to have you with us again. Well, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to the audience as well.
Good morning.
All right, so there is one issue for, this is, I believe, today, and there was another one a couple of weeks ago. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about these. Give this, talk to us as if we are totally new to investing and have no idea how this works. But what are Bahamas registered stock, how this works, and what you need to keep in mind when you're considering adding this to your portfolio of investments?
So Bahamas registered stock is a tool that the government uses, one of the tools that the government uses to fund its budget deficit and its day-to-day operations. So from time to time, you see those ads in the paper where it announces, okay, the Bahamas government is set to conduct the registered offering, and it gives you details about how exactly it's being offered. So the one that's today is a one-year security. So you invest money today, and in 1 year you're repaid your principal. But you will see other offerings where the maturity or the time where it ends is 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 20 years, as well as 30 years. So depending on you as an individual, your investment horizon, what it is that you're investing for, different bonds may meet your needs, but it's simply a promise from the government that, if you give me an X amount of money, I'm going to pay you a certain amount of interest every 6 months for however long we agree on that term. And at the end of it, the government repays you your money back.
Mm-hmm. All right. So overall, are these risky in any way? Are there any things that people need to keep in mind if they're considering investing in them?
Yeah. So every investment, of course, has risk. Now, generally, in the investments world, government securities are considered risk-free securities, right? Because there's this perception that the government can always raise taxes to fund those obligations. So it's considered risk-free, but there is always risk, right? We've seen some governments around the world, it's rare, but some governments have, not honored their commitments and paid individuals back. And then there's also interest rate risk, right? So if you buy a particular bond and the rate of interest on bond change, that can have an effect on the price of your bond. So in case you need to sell it in the future, you do need to consider, exactly, your time horizon. When do you think you will need this money? Because you may want to avoid having to sell it if interest rate changes. So I think the two primary risks are default risk, which is supposed to be low for governments, and then there's the interest rate risk, which could affect your bond if interest rates change.
Okay, two great questions based on that. So our government, have we ever defaulted? We have not done that as yet, right?
No, our government has not defaulted on its debt since independence.
All right, that's good. Now on this one for today, it says fixed interest. So does that mean that it will be fixed, or what could it possibly at all change? What does that mean?
Under the terms that you would be subscribing, that fixed that's the amount you will get every year for the rest of time. So if it's 1 year, you get that amount for 1 year. If it's 30 years, you're supposed to get that amount every year for the next 30 years. The alternative to fixed is floating, which means the rate would be tied to something. And if that changes, then the rate changes. But fixed means this is what you get every year for the lifetime of it.
So, Angelo, which type of investors would invest in this 1 year as opposed to like the 10 or the 30 year?
Generally we've seen that this is primarily purchased by banks as well as brokers who are looking to just play short-term investments. Generally individuals, if you're saving for something less than a year, those funds may be something you keep inside of a bank. So this one isn't, in my opinion, the most ideal for individuals unless you're sure that, hey, next year I'm going to be making some purchase, but I don't want my money sitting in the bank doing nothing. Then you may want to buy this and next year you'll get your money back. But we find that most individuals, they're 25, 30, 40, 50. You still have a lot of time. So they tend to go towards 10-year, 20-year, 30-year securities.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you raised there because we're hearing that and the banks are telling you about interest rates, and there's a lot happening there, or a little, depending on how you look at it. But you're still saying because it's a 1 year tenor there that is going to be perhaps not the best way to go.
No, like I said, if you want to work, you can invest it for 1 year and then next year you can reinvest it. So like I said, unless you're absolutely sure you're going to need that money next year, you may want to consider maybe a 3-year or a 5-year, depending on, what it is that you need.
So would you recommend this to somebody? Let's say you have $25,000 at the bank. You had it in the savings account and the bank has announced that, we're not paying any more interest on our savings account. So would you recommend this to somebody to say, okay, you could just buy some government bonds for 1 year, get the 3.10% interest. And like you said, if you don't really need it, you can roll it if they allow you to?
Yes. I personally think you should never keep real savings in the bank. I think you should keep, emergency funds. That amount differs for everyone. But you need to have it invested. Banks have not been paying interest for, I would say, maybe a decade now, although there's this recent, the announcements and making it official. If you really calculate it, they weren't paying interest for more than a year. So it is something that you could consider. It provides you some, return, and it helps with inflation. It keeps the purchasing power of your money. So, yeah, I would suggest it for a year. Like I said, if you're sure you're going to need those funds or you don't want to be committed long term, then yes, I think it's good.
All right. Tell us a little bit about how it works. If you are interested, what you need to do, what are the requirements? Give us some of that information.
So the central bank uploads the prospectus, which is the detailed information form that you see in the newspaper. And if you go to their website, you can find the prospectus, disclaimers, and the application form. So now that because of COVID, they've moved everything pretty much online. So you fill out the form, provide 2 forms of identification, proof of address, and then you submit all of those by email, as well as you would transfer the funds from your bank account to the account that they provide to you. And once that's done, at the end of it, you get a confirmation that says, I, X individual, own $1,000 of Bahamas registered stock. And every 6 months, on your bank account, you should see the interest payment there.
Now, Angelo, they have changed the pricing mechanism for Bahamas registered stock on the local stock exchange. If someone were to purchase this 1-year investment, will their price change after purchase?
So it may change, but the change on a 1-year bond is very low, right? It may be a few cents. The pricing mechanism really affects longer term bonds, 10-year, 20-year, 30-year. So the interest rate risk on a 1-year bond is very, very low. So I don't think you have to worry about that. But if you are buying 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, that's where you now have to be more strategic, because in the past, and I'm sure a lot of Bahamians were upset by this, but in the past, you would buy your bonds at $100 and you would sell them at 100 back to the central bank. But with the changes in interest rates now, you may buy a bond at 100 and in 2-3 years, it's at 90, or it could be 110 as well, depending on where interest rates go. But what we have seen with the pandemic is because interest rates have increased, the prices of those longer bonds has decreased. And that's, really been a shock for a lot of people.
All right, so let's compare the one that's been issued today to the one a few weeks back. And some of the differences there, as you mentioned, the interest rates were very different depending on the number of years. And what were the requirements there, and if this is one that people should look out for the next time this comes around, as opposed to the 1 year that we're seeing today. But let's talk about them. And the interest rates for the 30-year, 6.5%. Of course, as you mentioned, the banks haven't been doing anything like that for a very long time. I can't even remember when. But let's talk about that and how this was. Did you think this was a better buy, a better investment than the one that we're seeing today?
So the only difference is the maturity and the interest rate. The structure of them all work the same. You invest, you pay it semi-annually, and at the end of the maturity, you pay it back. So the other one just gives more flexibility, and it's everyone has different investment needs, right? If you have a child that bonds today and you say, I want to put something aside for them, then a 20-year bond, that would mature about the time that they're about to go to college or something like that. So, anytime we speak to people, we have to look at their individual circumstances. And the one that provides the most maturity is 3, 5, 7, 10, 20, and 30 year. Like I said, it just gives you more flexibility. You may want to put some money in a 5-year, some in a 10-year, some in a 20. So the flexibility, I think, is the main difference and choices.
Yeah. Are you able to, especially with the long-term investments, are you able to add more to it? Or once what you add at the beginning, is that it for that? You're done then? Or can you, a year later, add more money into it?
So when you buy, you get a certificate for that specific offering, right? So you may see like issue 110. So when you buy, you will have a certificate that said, of issue 110, I own $1,000. Now, the next year may be in issue 120. So you can buy more, but you won't be specifically adding to that certificate that you get. But these are offered almost monthly. So there's always a chance to buy more. You're just not adding specifically to the previous one.
So someone looking at like the 30-year would say, 6.5%, this is wonderful. My bank isn't paying me anything. Do you advise someone to purchase the 30-year bond if they don't intend to hold it to maturity?
No, but like it all depends, right? If you're gonna hold it for say 20 years, then the price impact may not be as bad. But if you're gonna buy it today with expectation that I may need this money in 2 or 3 years, then I would say no, because if interest rates change, as we've seen through the pandemic, the impact to the price is gonna be significant, right? If as Dwight said, the year is 6.5% now. Prior to the pandemic, it was about 5.6%, I think. And that 1% change has caused a $12, $13 drop in the price of that bond. So if interest rates continue to go up and you need this money in 3 years, if you put in $1,000, you may have to sell it for $870, and that's really a shock for people.
Wow.
So you do have to consider, when may I need this money, especially when you're dealing with 20 and 30-year bonds.
So given that, can we still say that government bonds in the country are generally safe to investors or as cash?
It's a tricky question. I think when we say safe, we speak more so to default risk as opposed to the interest rate risk, right? And so safe from a default risk perspective, I would say yes. I'm hopeful that there's no, possibility of default at any time in our existence. But the interest rate risk is there. Now, I'm not sure if to say it's unsafe because of interest rate risk, because that's just, normal risk, I would say. But you do have to just watch it and make sure that you're buying the thing that matches what it is that you're going to.
I guess investors just have to know now that, like prior to the change, you bought a bond at par, it stayed at par 100. It's not like that any longer. Right. So depending on the maturity and, like Angelo say, where interest rates go, your bond can lose value over the course of the term.
It can also work the other way, right?
Yeah.
If you're someone that thinks interest rates are going to go down, then you may want to buy a 30-year bond, because if the interest rates go down, the price of that bond will go up and you'll be able to sell it at a higher price. So it all depends, but you would need to be right in assuming that.
We're talking with Angelo Butler, senior analyst at CFAL. If you have questions, call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Got this question here. Can I change the beneficial ownership of these bonds?
Yes, it's just that would just be a transfer. You would submit a transfer form. You may need to provide the same level of identification for the person who it's being transferred to. But that's a very simple process.
All right. And so I was asking us again to repeat where we can get more information about this and to apply for these bonds.
So you can just Google is the simplest way. You can put in Central Bank of the Bahamas registered stock, and it would take you right to the IPOs, and you should be able to see the latest one.
Yeah.
But I would also say on the website, there's a Bahamas registered stock IPO calendar that tells you in November, the government is going to issue X amount of bonds. In December, X amount. So you, like I said, these come out pretty much monthly. So you can always see, and this has been a good thing that the central bank has done, where you know exactly when the offerings are going to be coming, so you can make plans for your money.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about this interest issue that's been getting a lot of attention. But as you say, the banks have not been doing much of this for a very long time. It's just when you put it in writing like that, people get all worked up. But other options are out there. We'll get into that as well. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Mike, you know what's going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
But he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you sold, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
All right, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how do I avoid?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the call go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau, or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Call us at 502-7010 or visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
My Gateway is the centralized, safe, secure way to access and pay for government services online. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and log in to request a police character certificate, renew your passport or driver's license, and more. Receive emails confirming requests and alerts when documents are ready. You must have a valid, government-issued ID in order to collect documents. My Gateway is fast, easy, and convenient. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and register today.
That's the sound of a bite-sized payment I made on my new laptop.
Can I make a bite-sized payment on this amazing vacation?
Yes, with Scotia Select Pay. Now my big-ticket credit card purchases are more manageable with flexible bite-sized payments over 3, 6, 9, or 12 months at a lower interest rate. Scotia Select Pay allows me to better plan my expenses over time. The best part? No credit checks or financing application. Visit bs.scotiabank.com. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation Cooper is inviting Chinese investors to take advantage of opportunities in the tourism, agricultural, and renewable energy sectors and to partner with government on projects such as the upcoming public-private partnership airport redevelopment projects. Cooper giving that clarion call to the Chinese during the Bahamas-China Trade and Investment Virtual Forum last week, which explored trade and investment opportunities between the two nations. The Chinese are already huge investors in the Bahamas' tourism sector via the Bahamar Resort, the Point, and the British Colonial Hilton Hotel. Conversations about Chinese engagement in the Bahamas' agricultural sector have waxed and waned in some instances and have been met with discord. Cooper, though, says there is a critical need for investment in the sector. He said, as we import $1 billion in food every year, there is a critical need for investment in agricultural initiatives to increase the nation's food security. He told the virtual room that of potential investors that tourism remains low-hanging fruit for investment in the Bahamas. You can read more about his comments in today's Guardian Business section. The investing community is looking to move into the digital space with the BISX. BISX CEO Keith Davies revealing that he intends to work with brokers over the course of next year to implement a platform similar to that offered by electronic trading platform E-Trade. Davies was speaking to that virtual panel discussing Live Well, Invest Well, hosted in conjunction with the RF Bank and Trust as part of World Investor Week, when the question was posed as to why Bahamian investors cannot utilize convenience of digital trading. He says the exchange is the location where the entire ecosystem exists, and that broker-dealers interface with them as well. You can read more about his comments in today's Guardian Business section. And a local entrepreneur has linked learners and trainers through an online portal for the Bahamas and Caribbean called the Online Training Authority. That its creator says it's especially necessary now that the COVID pandemic has not abated. Founder and President Lisa McCartney says the platform, which launched this month, will significantly reduce marketing costs and for trainers and bring them and their prospective tutors together in one central space online. Overseas, Microsoft says the same Russia-backed hackers responsible for the 2020 SolarWinds breach continue to attack the global technology supply chain and have been relentlessly targeting cloud service companies and others since summer. The group, which Microsoft calls Nobelium, has employed a new strategy to piggyback on the direct access that cloud service resellers have to their customers' IT systems, hoping to more easily impersonate an organization's trusted technology partner to gain access to their downstream customers. Resellers act as intermediaries between software and hardware makers and product users. The company, Microsoft, saying in a blog post that they've discovered the campaign in early stages, and they're sharing the developments to help cloud service resellers, technology providers, and their customers take timely steps to help ensure that Nobelium is not more successful. In your Market Watch recapping trading on the BISX, from Friday, market movers, APD Limited moving 100 shares, closing unchanged at $39.95. Bahamas First moving 10,500, unchanged at $239. Bank of the Bahamas moving 15,833, up 11 cents to $211. Cable Bahamas moving 4,300, down 20 cents to $295. Consolidated Water unchanged at $224. Emira Incorporated up 8 cents, closing at $11.65. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,082.92, up 1.80. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in tonight at 6:30 p.m. for the CFAL Talks show right here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey. Well, I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey.
And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Pamela Musgrove. We are talking with senior analyst with Anna Butler this morning, talking about investments. We've been talking about Bahamas registered stock this morning, and we're going to get into talk about interest rates in just a bit. We've got another question, though, Angelo. Someone's asking here, if I buy the 20 or 30-year bond and need my money early, can I then find someone else who wants to buy at that rate of return and transfer ownership versus loss for early redemption?
Yes, so you that can work as a transfer. You and that individual can sort that behind the scenes, and you just submit a transfer form to the central bank.
Is there a cost? Is there a fee for that? Or, as you say, work it out behind the scenes? How does that work exactly?
As far as I'm aware, to transfer securities, there isn't a fee. So, like I said, it would be behind the scenes that you deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
What we normally recommend to potential clients, if you are looking for an investment that's less than, let's say, 3 years or maybe 3 to 5 years, maybe buying the bonds may not be the best choice if you want to have access to your funds should the need arise. So we would recommend like a mutual fund, a conservative type mutual fund that you'll go in and you can get your funds whenever the redemption or subscription window opens for those funds, as opposed to going into the bonds, the government bonds, and then having to look for a buyer to execute the trade.
Right.
Just go into a mutual fund that's, if you're buying government bonds, it's more conservative. And then you can get your funds out when you need them.
Yeah. But emergencies do come up.
Yes.
And so
if you
keep that in
think
mind.
that you
Yeah.
may need these funds for emergency, it will probably be better to just go into a local mutual fund.
Yeah. Okay. Continue to send your questions about this, and we'll see if our experts here, Angela and Pam,
This is Angelo's show. He's in the hot seat.
All right. So let's talk about the interest rate issue. If you are saving, and it's been like that for years, we know it's been tough. It's been rough, especially if you're saving in a bank. But if you're trying to get a loan, it's a different story, right? The interest rates are reasonable, some would say. But let's talk about this. In terms of savings, why has it been like this? What's going on from what you understand? And why is it not quite the same with other types of institutions?
So this problem, I think, started back in 2008 or so, when we had the financial crisis. You saw central banks all over the world just cut interest rates to zero, right? They were trying to stimulate the economies and get us out of that slump. And since then, they haven't really, had chances to increase rates, right? Every time they try to increase rates, the market panics or there's another crisis that comes, and so they have to cut them again. And the same thing happened with COVID. Governments, central bank rates down to zero to try and stimulate economies. And so interest rates are, they've been very low for a very long time. And though persons expect that they're going to go up, I think realistically, the days of seeing meaningful interest rates on savings and deposits are long behind us. And so, it's forced persons. I think one of the functions of it too is to encourage people to spend money or to invest, right? If I don't give you an incentive to keep money in the bank, then you either will spend it, leave it there earning nothing, or you will take that and find other productive investments. And I think that's where we are. We have to find other productive investments to invest our money in today.
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. So generally, how low are we talking when it comes to investing? What are we looking at here? What is an average interest rate that you may see on an average savings account? Pam is laughing.
I would say 0.0005 maybe.
My gosh.
And that, it was seen on paper, but it's been that way for a long time. No matter how much money you have in the bank, at the end of the month, you may see 5 cents in interest or 10 cents. So all they're doing is not paying that 5 cents now, but very few places around the world do you find banks still providing high levels of interest rates.
Right.
Even in Europe, in some cases, Switzerland, Japan, the rates are negative. So the bank charges you for keeping your money there.
And Angela, would you say that we have had somewhat negative interest rates? Because when you factor in the cost
those fees
for operating these bank accounts, it's been in the negative.
Yeah, it's and then too, there's the inflation component, right? If you're earning 0.005 and inflation is taking 2% of that value every year, you're actually, like you said, earning negative, in essence, negative interest rates. So that's why we, don't encourage persons to or keep large sums of money inside of bank accounts.
Yeah.
So when that bank, we have to name, but when they made that big announcement that they're just going to stop this facade, right? This show, just call it what, just stop pretending. People were outraged, but again, it's been the same with almost all the other banks. But people kept saying that, what is the central bank saying about this? And of course, the central bank did issue a statement that what can we do here? But is there something the central bank could do or can do about a situation like this?
I mean, they can, but I think the central bank's view on it, not just our central bank, is to let the market determine this, right? How it's supposed to work is the bank is supposed to pay you interest to encourage you to bring your money to them. But because there's, the economy has been sluggish, there hasn't been a lot of projects for people to invest in. There's a lot of money just sitting in the bank. And so the bank does not, as usual, need more persons to bring their money, if that makes sense. And so there's no incentive to there's so much liquidity just sitting in the system. Why am I going to pay you, 5% technically I do not need your individual deposit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Well, people are saying at the same time, it seems harder than ever to get a loan from the bank. Is that not the case, or what's the reality out there?
I think it is difficult. The banks and goes back to 2008 again. You know, before that, I think it seems I was still in high school, but it seems like you could have gotten a mortgage with, you know, a driver's license, right? Just using a analogy. But you know, since then, the banks got hurt in 2008, and I'm sure they're feeling the effects of the pandemic now as well. And so they're just going to get a bit more cautious in terms of lending because there's so much uncertainty going on.
All right, so your institution, CFAL, and others have been promoting the fact that you're still paying interest there, and tell us about what CFAL is offering.
So the difference is CFAL is an investment firm. So when you bring funds to us, we don't just keep that on an account as cash. We look to invest that money in various securities, depending on what it is that you as an individual want. So if you want to risk, we may invest that in equities or stocks. But if you're conservative, we will invest that in bonds. And that's, like you see the government bonds, you know, if we invest that money at 6.5%, then that helps us to pay or give you a higher rate of return than you receive at the bank. So we have different products that you can invest in. There's mutual funds, there's savings plans, also individual pensions that you can invest in. And the key word there is investing. You're saving your money with us, but we're investing it, if that makes sense.
You're making it work.
Yeah.
As opposed to just sitting there. Is that a hard concept for a lot of Bahamians to swallow, to understand? You're seeing a shift in the mindset.
I think you're seeing a shift, but I still think there's that being afraid of what you don't know. You know, a lot of persons came up, all they knew was fixed deposits, right? You put it there for 3 months, the bank pays you 4%, and at the end you get your money back. So explaining that concept of investing, because when you speak of investing, you always have to speak about risk. And I think that's a new conversation for a lot of people. And, you know, they sometimes get afraid. You get the questions, what happens if this? What happens if this? And our job is to sit there and explain that, as well as explain the alternatives of not taking some sort of risk, what that could mean for your money as well.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what happens if you don't. Well, as we see, we can tell when you have it in a bank, you're losing money. But what are some of the other risks?
The is inflation, and you know, $100 today isn't worth $100 10 years from today. And so if you just leave that sitting there, you know, you may say, yeah, I'm not getting interest, but it's losing value, right? We see the cost of things going up every day. And one of the ways that you keep up with that is by investing and earning a rate of return that's greater than inflation. So I think that's a whole premise of investing. You need to earn more than the cost of living is going up, so that you retain your ability to survive, spend, and purchase goods.
Yeah. Call in, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. If you have any questions for Angela Butler, or you can tweet us, Facebook us, or text us, 422-4796. We've got a text here about retirement funds at CFAL and how that works and how much to join and what are the terms.
So there are several products that you could consider, but there's specifically a individual pension plan. I believe the minimum is $250 to start, and you can contribute $100 a month. We don't penalize persons for not making that, nor do we penalize you for investing more. So it's really about you, right? What you put into it will grow, and that's what you're going to get out of it. So if 1 month you can put more than the other, that's fine. But, you know, it's invested conservatively. We give you the choice to choose how it's invested, and, you know, you continuously add to it. And when retirement comes, the funds are there, and you can determine whether you want a lump sum or, maybe a monthly payment to avoid, using all of it at one time if you're afraid of that.
It's our Blue Marlin retirement plan, and it's been pretty good actually. There are persons who may be at a company that does not offer a pension plan, and they decide that they wanted to save on the side for retirement.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of persons who are embracing that option,
Excellent.
understanding that they need a safety net,
Right.
when they're no longer working.
NIB will not be enough.
Sufficient.
Yeah.
And so they put funds aside while they're working so that when they retire, then they'll have something in addition to national insurance to live on.
Right. Excellent. All right, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Yes, sir. Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good
And
morning.
good morning to Pam.
Good morning.
Pam,
Yes, sir.
what I'm looking at, and I heard what the young man has to say. I hear what Chester Cooper has to say. And we all know the situation with the United States Federal Reserve and the United States Treasury, okay? And the amount of debt that foreign countries are allowed, the amount of United States debt countries have been allowed to purchase these so-called bonds. Now I hear Chester Cooper come with the same rhetoric. Well, while the last prime minister said the next time for the poor people, when he gave the poor people tangible, natural resources, not paper.
Okay. I don't know if that was. Do we have any? Do we have any evidence to show that countries are buying our bonds? Is that?
You mean our bonds?
Yeah, I don't think that's.
Mainly our international bond, mainly investment houses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Investment houses would purchase our government bonds on the international market.
It's not unusual.
No.
No, that's normal.
No,
and
it's
not something to
every
panic
country in the world does
about. Nothing
No.
to panic about.
No. I think there should be panic at the level of foreign currency borrowing. That again, that's a reflection of the current circumstances. I get what the previous administration was doing in terms of finance. I get what they were doing because we didn't have those foreign currencies coming in. Then they had to borrow because once you issue government local debt, people are going to draw down on the reserves, and then you're at risk of not having sufficient level reserves. And so it is with the international market is challenged because of our downgrade and the risk involved with our debt. It's also like that on the local market because the downgrade affect local investors and a lot of investors, like Angelo mentioned briefly about when we talked about the pricing mechanism, there are persons, institutional investors who are not interested in government bonds because of the new pricing mechanism. Because if you push a portfolio as being relatively conservative and you buy a 30-year bond that's 6.5% and a month to 97 or to 80, you're not interested in that. And so what has happened is they have not been participating to that level in the government bond market because of the downgrade as well as the pricing mechanism. And so that will create a challenge in raising funds for local BGRS.
Right. So what does the government do in a situation like that? If there is less interest in it, what are the consequences of that?
So Angelo, you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, like I said, it's a tool of one of the tools the government uses to fund its budget deficit. So, if that trend continues, they may have to go back to the international market, or you may have to call your, as they call them, alphabet soup friends, who will lend you money. But there are consequences of it.
Yeah.
And two, you may need to sit down with participants, hear their concerns, and see why they and make changes as to try and fix the market.
This is a weird question, but so should we, those who might have some extra lying around, see it as a service to the nation to buy some of these
I'm sure the politicians would love that approach to it, and viewing it that way, not in a national sense.
And I'm sure the investor will say, no. No.
Right. And what have you done for me lately, government? But anyway, okay. But that's interesting stuff. All right. So back with the savings. What if you do, right? You have your money. You have a good amount of money sitting around in a bank, in a savings account. And maybe you're a little bit older and you're like, I'm too old for risk at this point. What should you be doing? You've got no interest going on this account or nothing to talk about. What do you do though?
So generally, they naturally, the longer your life expectancy is, the longer your time horizon. So you can take more risk and recover. But as you get older, you just tend to focus more on short-term securities, risk-free securities. So if you're 55. You may not want to buy a 30-year bond. You maybe want to buy a 10-year or a 7 or a 5-year, which has, lower interest rate risk, as well as, less uncertainty. I mean, no one knows what's going to happen 30 years from today, but maybe 7 years from today, I can have some idea how the economy is going to be or how it should be. So, that's why I say the flexibility of the multiple years is the best one, because each individual can make a decision for themselves.
Yeah. Wow. Got a text here. They're stressing. This is not a scientific view, but I find the mutual funds seem to underperform the market. Why is that? And is that the case?
Well, I'm not sure which to the market what they're speaking to. If you're speaking to equities, then that would be comparing it to BISX. But you would have to look at each mutual fund on an individual basis to see why. If it's government bonds, if it's a bond fund that they're speaking to, and then again, are you comparing it to prime or, the 30-year bond? Because I, as a mutual fund, I don't want to have 100% of my fund in 30-year bonds, right? So I need to spread my risk as well. I need to buy some 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, 10. And because I'm buying a portion that's lower than the 30-year, my performance is going to be less than the 30-year. So, you can't compare an entire fund to one bond, if that makes sense. But I would have to know specifically what fund they're speaking about and what they're using as the market.
And usually at CFAL, we use benchmarks. So for our CFAL bond fund, which is a conservative strategy, the benchmark is the prime rate, which is 4.25. And then for our balanced fund, 6 in proportion to fixed income securities to create an index that's balanced to reflect the returns, to compare the returns of the balanced funds. Like Angelo said, for you to use the bond fund, which is a conservative strategy comprised of fixed income, and compare it to BISX, it will be like comparing apples to oranges. So you would have to get an index that's more aligned with that particular strategy in order to compare it. So to that texture, it all depends on what benchmark that they're using.
Wow. All right, so we've got a minute left. We've talked about a lot of different things this morning, but it's all related to investing and what to do with your money. So, Angelo, give us some final words. If you are just confused, you're thinking about perhaps the Bahamas registered stock and wondering what to do with your money to help that to work for you. I'm sure I know what your answer is going to be. You got to diversify your portfolio, but you say it. You tell us what you should be thinking about if you are just looking at all of these signs in front of you, no interest rates, and where to put this money. What would you say to somebody?
If this is something that's new to you, like I said, if you are someone that just use fixed deposits and buying savings, you may want to speak to an investment firm or financial advisor and just see what all options are out there for you. Some of that may still include some savings, but some may include some bond purchases, a bit of equities, depending on you as an individual. So I would say speak to someone who works in that field, and they can give you a holistic discussion of it, because it is something that you have to consider: age, risks, tolerance, how willing are you to take risks. Those are things we try to discover about individuals before telling them, okay, this is specifically what it is that you should go into.
Okay. And how can people get more information about what we talked about with savings and investing with CFAL?
You can visit our website, www.cfal.com, or you can email us at info@cfal.com. And if you want to call us, it's 502. Then staff members should be able to give you that information.
Okay. Angelo Butler, Senior Analyst with CFAL. Thank you so much. Great information. Great talking with you again.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
And Pam, thank you as well.
Thank you, Dwight. Have a blessed week, Bahamas.
I need to sit down with you and have you.
You've been saying that for a while.
I have, right?
You've been saying that for a while.
You plan out my financial life. I'm sure I'll be doing a lot better in no time. But anyway, thank you again. I'll see you next week. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.